I'm wondering how will you be different and also like just kind of having influence and imagine that it's going to get a lot of attention about sitting there. How do you think things have changed there with your campaign?
Well, first of all, what happened in Merrimack Valley with the gas explosions is tragic. It should never happen. I really feel for the people who've been impacted and the young man who lost his life. There are obvious questions about how this happened and why it happened, and we're going to need to get answers to all of that. But at this point, I am focused on making sure people understand the choice in this election. It's going to be a choice between someone, in my case, who wants our state to be aiming higher, taking on the big challenges, holding regular people back across the state, like our broken transportation system, our education system that's failing too many kids, lots of other areas we need to do better. And I'm going to be a governor who takes this on with a sense of urgency and stands up for every single person in this state. I think we've got a governor right now who's way too satisfied with the status quo. So on transportation, in both areas, I'm being honest about the fact we need to invest more in our transportation system. We are not going to get it to a place where people can depend on it to get to work on time unless we spend more money on it. I'm going to ask those who are wealthy in our state to pay more in taxes so that we can make the investments we need to make. I'm also going to fire Keolis, the private operator of the commuter rail system. We should not be privatizing core public functions like this. I'll be the first governor to bring management of it in-house and manage it directly. This is the issue I hear the most about everywhere I go. I just heard about it from people in this line. They can't depend on the system to get to work. It's affecting people's quality of life in a very real way every single day. It's starting to drag our economy backwards. Businesses aren't going to want to invest here if their workforce can't get to work on time. So, Governor Baker's approach on this is no more money, jack up fares on riders, and reduce service, and it's going to be in a state of good repair in 15 years. That's totally unacceptable. I'm going to take this on. I'm going to be honest about the fact we need to invest more, and I'm going to fix it.
What about education? The state team act this year on the foundation budget review.
Yeah, and there's been no leadership from the governor on it. The state is about to get sued by school districts like Brockton and others who face huge disparities in funding, which is a disservice to kids around the state. The most important thing we do through government is ensure that every child gets access to a great public education. And right now, the state is falling down on that responsibility. I've said I will, again, raise taxes on wealthy people so that we can invest more in our public schools, meet our constitutional obligation to do so, and make sure every child in this state gets a fair shot and that every public school is great. Charlie Baker has no plan to do that and has provided no leadership to provide the resources we need to lower income districts. I'm in this to fight for all the little guys out there, all the regular people who are struggling to get ahead. Recent report that came out that was recently reported on that shows the economy is doing great for those at the top, but it is not doing great for all the lower and middle income people in this state who are struggling to get ahead. I'm going to be their governor.
So what are your thoughts on immigration? As a Haitian American myself and representing the Haitian community, Trump has decided to possibly end the TPS, temporary protected status, in June of 2019.
Yeah.
What is your stance and thoughts on immigration?
So this is another example of an area where voters are going to have a very clear choice and difference between myself and Charlie Baker. I think what Donald Trump is doing is anti-American. It's inconsistent with our values. And now more than ever, we need a governor who is setting a tone of inclusion and that their government is there for every single person in this state, including immigrants. The very first piece of legislation I supported as a candidate is the Safe Communities Act, which would have said that state and local law enforcement officials should focus on enforcing state and local laws and not doing the work of federal immigration officials, which is not their job. Particularly now when Donald Trump is telling those federal immigration officials to do things that are inconsistent with our values. Charlie Baker orders state police to detain immigrants, opposes Syrian refugees resettling in our state, committed Massachusetts National Guard resources to the Mexican border to help Donald Trump separate kids from their parents. And it was only after we put a lot of pressure on him and others did as well, that he reversed that decision. But it's a decision that never should have been made in the first place. And immigrants in this state can count on the fact that I will be there for them just like I am for everybody else. I'm going to be the governor for everybody.
What about affordable housing?
It's a huge crisis, like transportation we were talking about before. I think our broken transportation system and our affordable housing crisis are the two things that are going to start dragging this state backwards. I'm going to be much more aggressive about it. I think we need regulatory reform so that it isn't just Boston, Cambridge, and Somerville that are developing new housing, but it's a collective responsibility for all of our communities across this state. We've got an affordable housing crisis not just in the greater Boston area, but on the Cape and the Berkshires and different parts of the state. We need different solutions for each region. And I think state government needs to invest more in making sure we're subsidizing the development of housing, not only for very low-income people, but for working people as well.
And crime rate? What are your
crime
rate? What are your thoughts on the city of Boston crime rate?
The crime rate?
Yes.
Well, obviously, a really important job of government is making sure we're keeping our communities safe. I think one of the big issues that I've been pushing is criminal justice reform. We jail more people per capita than pretty much every other nation in the world. Our incarceration rate has gone up 250% since 1980 in Massachusetts, and we are not getting better outcomes when it comes to crime. So I think we need to be investing much more in the underlying causes of crime, like addiction, mental health services. We need diversionary programs so we aren't just putting people in jail for too long, which just results in more of a cycle of crime that makes communities less safe. I think we need programming for people who are in jail so they're successful when they get out and don't end up back in. And ultimately, we need opportunities for young people in Boston and Quincy and in communities all across our state so that they aren't turning to crime to begin with. And those are some of the things that I want to do as governor. The legislature took a good step in the right direction on criminal justice reform. I think there's more we can do.
So I suppose you're here to support Senator Warren. Could you say a couple words about your relationship
yes.
with her?
We have a wonderful senator in Elizabeth Warren who is fighting for us day in and day out in Washington, leading the resistance to Donald Trump and fighting for all the little guys out there. And I am so proud to have her support for my campaign. We're very aligned. I am in this to fight for all the little guys out there as governor. And I'll tell you something. I am very proud to support Elizabeth Warren. And I will never, ever, ever, ever support someone to represent us in the United States Senate like Jeff Deal, who Governor Baker is supporting. And by supporting Jeff Deal to replace Elizabeth Warren as our United States Senator, make no mistake, Governor Baker is supporting helping Donald Trump deliver on his agenda to take this country backwards. He is supporting an anti-choice, anti-LGBTQ, anti-immigrant, pro-NRA agenda. And to me, that is not okay. And he needs to be called out for it. All right.